Hello, everybody. Hey, I'm like Madonna. I let people wait and wait forever before I get on live. Okay, we are pretty much ready. Everything looks fine. PC still installing an insider build, so eventually there's going to be an SDR somewhere here. I've got vodka, cranberry. So cheers. And of course, not very far away, we've got the new love in my life. Sounds pathetic when it says like that. Tecsun PL-990x, of course, is not very far. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about radio. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff. Welcome, everybody. This is the Shortwave Live Show. We are live twice a week on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 0 hours UTC. Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's 20 hours Universal Time. We are here to talk about radio. And we just are a bunch of great, amazing people having fun with radio. And here's the co-host is here. Co-host is, well, that's kind of the not the best time to show the co-host, but Mr. Co-host is here. You know, I guess he just wants to clean himself. Here we have Mr. Paul. And maybe not the best of times, but, you know, it's a moment of Mr. Paul. So that's the co-host. He's there, making sure I don't blunder, I don't do things that I shouldn't do, and that everything's all right, so he gets his food. So he's actually in charge. Without him, I wouldn't even know how to operate all of this stuff. So welcome aboard, everybody, and we will talk about radio tonight. It's the Wednesday edition of the show, and I'm a little hot because I had tomorrow's the recycling and garbage day, so it's like I had like 10 things to bring down and up to put outside. So it's like I probably did all of my exercise for the day just putting out trash and recycling stuff. And of course, we are here to entertain and have fun with radio and talk about radio, answer questions. People are amazing here on the chat room because they are, really, really nice with everybody. This is what makes this special and fun here, is everybody respects everybody and just is, in starting up and we ask questions, and we always say it's, I think it happened to all of us. We have that question that we are afraid to ask, because it's like, well, if I ask that question, they're going to think I'm dumb or something, I think we all have that moment where, well, I've been a ham for 30 years, but I will not ask what that connector is, because being a ham for 30 years, I should know, and I'm dumb. In reality, if you don't know, there's probably a ton of people that have no idea what that connector is, and it's fine. And here is a place for all of these questions that maybe you were afraid to ask, and you never did. My name is Gilles. I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, northeast part of North America, and pretty much a record-breaking live show last week. Not just in the number of people watching live, but we passed the 5,000 views in less than a week, in just like 4 days, 5 days. Pretty amazing when you think about it. So is this yeah, still stuck at 91%. I don't know if it's doing it right. I like the black bars that appeared here and here. It's like, yeah, that looks real good. So anyways, it was really nice, and I know a lot of people send me some really positive feedback on the PL-990 live unboxing and kind of mini review, if you want, last week. So thanks everybody for being great fans. We have a Facebook group that has the same name that this channel has, official SWL channel, and we are on that group an amazing amount of people. Once again, we have our live here. It's like a big party, but when it's over, everybody goes into that little mode where you feel alone again. Well, that's where the Facebook group helps. It's that interactive place where you can post what you're listening to. You can, answer questions, ask questions, talk about radio. It's just a fun place, and people are absolutely great on that Facebook group also. So welcome aboard, everybody, and it's always nice to have all of you here. Bobby Burgess, WA5107XWL in Morgan City, Louisiana, USA. Nice to have you here. Prasad, nice to have you on board from India. Rob in Phoenix, Arizona. Nice to have you here. Kish Escape, nice to have you on board. I had some fajitas. It's funny because Friday was tacos, tonight was fajitas. But it's good food style. I got some good food meals this week, so tonight was fajitas, good food style, with tomatillos, and it was really good, actually. Shitty Pyro 90, nice to have you on board from British Columbia. I should be able to get a SSTV image from the ISS when it makes a pass over my location in a while here. They don't send SSTV all the time, right? Shitty Pyro. They send SSTV only from time to time. You have to watch when they do an SSTV event. They don't send SSTV all the time. So unless I'm unaware that they are sending some right now, SSTV is not being sent from what I know. Unless somebody's going to tell me, yeah, they're doing SSTV, and it's like, oh, okay. Then we're going to have to do that. Glenn, nice to have you here from Tennessee. MDK2, Matt, nice to have you here in Denver, Colorado. James Farley, nice to have you on board. PL-330 looks interesting. It does, and it does look at an interesting price point. When it's officially available from a non-co, I will take what's left, because I've had some donations in the past week, and people are saying, well, this is for advanced donations. Next time there's a radio to buy, you'll be able to maybe purchase that new radio and do the same thing you did with a live unboxing and all of that. So I will be looking into that PL-330. It does look interesting, that's for sure. Otter's Other Crafter's Kitchen, nice to have you here from Massachusetts. Enjoying the 990 reviews. My Sony ICF 6700 was just brought back to life, but it's a tempting radio and an attractive value for the price. My official review is coming up tomorrow. So I've used it. I actually didn't fix the clock for a very interesting purpose, is that I wanted to do some battery testing. How long does it last on the battery and stuff? So I would, what I did was every time I used it, the clock said 0 hours. So I jotted down how many hours I used it. Believe it or not, it was on for a total of 34 hours since Friday. So it gives you an idea that it was on quite a lot for just a few days. And so it gave me the possibility to see the battery life and test all sorts of little things. So my review's coming up tomorrow with more videos. I've got like 8 or 9 videos that I've not posted today. I had a hectic day today. There was a lot of stuff I needed to do. I wanted to go eat at the restaurant because in restaurants and the bars are closing at midnight tonight. COVID is getting very, very bad here again. So bars, restaurants, all of that is closing at midnight tonight. And when I heard that, the first thing I thought this morning when I woke up is, hey, I want to go to, I'm going to get lunch at a restaurant. And at least because I won't be able to do so for the next 28 days at least. They're shutting down for 28 days. And I did quite a few things I needed to do. I had to do some blood tests that I was, I was supposed to do them like 3 months ago, and I'm totally careless with my health. It's crazy. So I took so because of COVID and everything, you have to go on the internet on the website and choose a time frame, and you're not allowed to be there more than like 20 minutes because of COVID and whatever. So you got to choose everything, and it's like, so I had all of that to do today, plus tons of chores and tons of things I needed to buy and some groceries I needed to do. So I didn't have time to post the videos. I wanted to post them today, first of all, but then I was like, okay, I got too much things to do. I'm going to do all that I need to do today, and tomorrow I am going to, come back into video style. So tomorrow there's going to be some videos, more videos posted of the Tecsun PL-990, my review, and I've got some videos for the VHF UHF channel where success. I've heard the International Space Station repeater for the first time last night on 437-800, which is really cool. So I've been tomorrow there's going to be like an avalanche of videos, I guess. So I hope you're going to enjoy that for sure. TV DXer, bonjour et bienvenue. Nice to have welcome you aboard. Randall Cluns, nice to have you here from Northeast Illinois. Eyebrawler from Arkansas. Yeah, last day of September. It's pretty crazy here. Eh? It's the trees are very beautiful, and the next week or two here is going to be like the most beautiful. This street gets so beautiful, and at this time of year with all the colors, it's amazing. And I will plan to try to go to at least, it's supposed to be really cool, if not almost cold, for the next few weeks. So I don't think I'll have another Perry Island before next year from now on. So one of the things I thought is I'm going to go to the park nearby here with the radio, and I've been doing a lot of ATS scan on it, which is the same thing as doing an ETM, easy tuning mode scan. For those that know the easy tuning mode, I've been using the PL-990 ATS, which fills up memory channels with everything it finds on shortwave. Works in the same way. It's very good, actually. It's very sensitive, and it gets a lot of stations. It's a little too sensitive because channels that have more noise are put in memory channels, like if there was a station on. But you know what? I kind of like that because that also means it won't miss a weaker station. And I've been having a lot of fun. So I'm going to do some scans of channels of shortwave frequencies from the park where lower noise, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to do for sure. Rufus Newt from the Laurentian Valley, Ontario. Nice to have you here. So anyways, it's incredible to think that October starts tomorrow. There's kind of a time warp in our year this year with everything that's happening. Things are just not the same. Matt is catching the last minute or so in Radio Mali. I listened yesterday. For a while, they have some very, if you want to have exotic, unusual music, when they have their music programs, oh man, that is so exotic African style music. It's nice. Joe, nice to have you on board, my friend. Joe Rodman. Brian Penny from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Canadian Prairie Shortwave Radio. Nice to have you on board. Let's go down. Let's go down. Shady Pyro 90. Nice to have you on board. Rifleman 336. Nice to have you here. Joseph Ickenbaum. Nice to have you here. Yes, you're a mod. You're a mod. Absolutely. It happened last time when you were being blocked or something. I decided to put you as a mod. So welcome aboard, man. XNADX, sir. Keegan, nice to have you here from Northwest Arkansas. Bobby, yep. Every Wednesday. Pretty much every Wednesday they have a new this one is really long to install. I mean, usually it's done by this time. This is super long. I hope my hard drive isn't failing because it's getting way long. So Joseph, nice to have you here from San Francisco Bay Area, California. Yes, we are going to listen to that noise again, Keisha Escape. Jerry DX, nice to have you on board. Rifleman 336 and 8 UCN from Southwest Ohio. Robert Shine, nice to have you here. Gaëtan Bellil, bonjour et bienvenue. Toujours un plaisir. Nice to have you on board. Moria 330, nice to have you here. SoCalf, nice to have you on board. David, KJ4CMY, nice to have you on board. What else do we have? Briar Smoke, nice to have you here from California. Jim, KW6JFD, nice to have you here, Jim. Rata Sectaria, nice to have you here. Nicholas Heyer, nice to have you here. Nick, K9XN from Northwest Indy, USA. What else do we have? Forget SDRing. Go to your 990X. Yogi, nice to have you here from Hong Kong. What else do we have? I'm all excited today. I got to show you guys. I got a I know it's not it's not radio, but I got a really nice gift. I've got this thing here, which is a cartridge for Commodore that I ordered in January, and that has 300 Commodore games. You just insert it in the back of the Commodore 64. In my case, it's Commodore 128. Man, 9 months. I was sure I would not get it, and then it was in the mail, and I was like, wow. So look here, for example, let's just that is an example. Press 9 for Donkey Kong. I'll just give you an idea. Here you go, Donkey Kong. So there's 300 games in there. I've been playing a few this afternoon, so I took some time off for that. But this is cool. So I'm having a lot of fun with, like, my teenage years I've come back. Pretty much all the games that I like are in here. Impossible Mission, Bobble Bobble, Barbarian, Donkey Kong, Jumpman Jr., Load Runner, everything that I've been enjoying. So sorry, I digressed from radio for a moment. So I'm super happy to have that that arrived this afternoon. So let's log in here. Everybody wants to know my password. Yeah, like I'm gonna say that live. Anyways, it's a pin, so wouldn't work. Larry Stevens, nice to have you on board from Ohio. Charles Ethan, nice to have you here. KD9CAS from Kentucky. Pretty cool. ZXZX, nice to have you on board. What else do we have? Does it love you back? What, the vodka? Of course. WF7I Homebrew. Actually, after a couple, I love everybody, so I guess it's a good thing. Cheers. WF7I Homebrew. Nice to have you here from Virginia. 40-meter band in the background on the TS2000. Yeah, propagation is not too bad today. Because man, we had a couple of days of really bad propagation on earlier this week, like Sunday, Monday. Man, it was bad. Joe Tyson from North Carolina. Nice to have you here. We have Hirofumi Yokoyama. Nice to have you here from Japan. Early in the morning. Robert Chan, if I couldn't clean myself like that, I'd be very, very, very clean. Yeah. Worst part is I need to, it's try to put a cat on a diet. It's kind of a difficult thing. I need to put Paul on a diet, but he like meows all the time because he wants the food. And I actually now need to clean his butt from time to time because he's now too fat to clean it properly. So I have to actually clean his butt. It gets there. You're like, yeah, I'm the owner. I'm the guy that's supposed to be the master, and I have to kneel down and clean my cat's butt. That just isn't the most beautiful moment in a day, I can tell you. Oh man. Yeah, Rufus Newt, absolutely. Cats do the my butt. Yep, okay. Okay. Where do you get the wood pattern mat set the radio on? I really want one of those. Very simple. I printed it myself. So I have a big cardboard that I took from a box. And you're not the first one that tells me, how do where do you get that wooden looking mat thing? And I said, well, all I did was take a big piece of cardboard and I printed a wood pattern with my printer. And I glued that to the cardboard so that when I do videos, it looks, I the reason I did it is because I'm getting a little too video conscious now. It's like, I need to have a nice background when I do something, and I start looking at everything. I'm freaking out now. It's like if I put the radio somewhere to take a picture, it's like, no, I can't put it here. They're going to see the banana there. They're going to see that there's a tablecloth there. They're going to see that there's a pattern of there. No, it can't be like that. I'm getting real complicated in taking radio pictures. And actually, it's paying off. A few of you out there told me, you have the art of doing real beautiful radio pictures. There should be a slideshow of these radios. And it's like, well, I mean, it's for video purpose. And I think everybody enjoys when the video has a minimum of quality in what it looks like. When I started, those that were there at the beginning, remember I had my radio on the washer and the dryer in my kitchen. That was like the beginnings, but today it's like, no, I'm out of the washer thing now. Let's have beautiful backgrounds and beautiful pictures and colors, and things need to look at least a minimum of beautiful. And so what I did when I was doing videos, I was always doing videos on the kitchen table for radio and stuff. And it's like, yeah, the flowers on the kitchen table or whatever pattern of whatever I have on the kitchen table. And I was like, yeah, I'd like to have it a little better. And at the same time, I could do kind of a table thing with it. So I took a thick cardboard. I received a package once in a big box, and it had really thick cardboard. So I cut out the cardboard to have a nice big, I don't know, it's probably at least, I'd say it's like close to 30 inches by 24 or something, and it may be more than that. And I took the cardboard and I said, okay. And I had my new printer and I was like, oh, I'm going to go on the internet and I'm going to Google wood patterns to print. And it's very efficient. If you guys are looking for some patterns to print out, because I was going crazy. I was like, oh, I could print out a break pattern and put all the background here in fake break patterns, which would look kind of nice, you know? But then again, you're like, yeah, okay, don't go crazy over the patterns, okay? So what I did is I printed the wood. I was looking at wood patterns, and I was like, oh, that one looks nice. I actually have 3 different wood patterns. I could exchange them if I want. Actually, the idea was to have 2 big cardboards and have 4 different patterns. So I just turn it the other side. There's another wood pattern, and so on. So that's all I did is take a cardboard. I printed wood patterns on different sheets of paper. Actually, I took photo paper and I put that on the cardboard so that when I do a video or take a picture, it looks nice. It looks like I'm on a wood. You know, honestly, when it's well positioned, you kind of have the impression I'm really on a nice big wooden table. It looks pretty darn nice. So you know, I'm getting there. I'm at that YouTube stage now where I want to have some more beautiful stuff when I do things. I'm now conscious of my background, conscious of my surroundings, and I want things to look nice when I do videos and take pictures. KW1161 from Tucson, Arizona. Nice to have you on board. Northern Dawn, nice to have you here. The Tecsun PL-990, which sounds and looks very nice, which is a kind of an upgrade to the PL-380 with single sideband. And by the way, I'm 25 minutes behind. Be patient, guys. I'm reading comments of 006 UT, and we're at 029 UT. Okay, I'm going to try to get there as fast as I can. Hey, Page Master. Yeah, and I got those pictures that you sent me the other day. Really nice. Congratulations on that. You know, it's fun to have a goal. It reminds me so much of when I would send all these reception reports to stations like Radio Bulgaria to get these certificates or be a member of a club, or it was you know, there's something there. You're working to get into that. Welcome, Helms. Nice to have you here from Florida. What else do we have? What else do we have? John Wayne, nice to have you here from Germany. Oh yeah, the report of the week. He's been here a few times, and actually one of the last times that I had written to him to talk about one of his shortwave shows. He was telling me that you know, he watches a lot the live shows that I do, but just doesn't, most of the time he doesn't interact, you know. Bill, you say the sound is good on the PL-990x. You should have owned the PL-880. Sound was even better. So I know that some people say that the sound was better on the 880, but I got to say it's really nice on the 990x. It would be nice to have to be able to compare with somebody, but 990x is really nice, I got to say. But I do know that there's a lot of people saying that the PL-880 had beautiful sound also. So Keisha Escape says when the show is over, he's like, he feels more hyped for shortwaves and spend a lot of time outside listening. Cool. Rich, nice to have you here in Syracuse, New York. Pretty cool. What else? I was curious about the fine-tuning, staying off-center for the different radios. Yeah, well, that's a thing for that you know, shows how there's a kind of the precision of most portables isn't perfect. So there's a kind of a little, something there. You're not always centered when you're tuning in. The PL-990X, because I got a few comments, people saying, well, it's all by 80 hertz, or yes, it is, but it is fixable within the radio. I'll be playing with that when I get to it. For now, is not a priority. I didn't want to go and play with that. And apparently, it's kind of a weird system that's kind of complex to fix. But I wasn't there yet. It's like I wanted to just test the radio, and we'll get there when I get there. Mateo Castro, nice to have you on board from Argentina. ¿Cómo está, mi amigo? Yogi, get some BL5C when you get the PL330. Yeah, I know. Well, I already have 2 of them that go with the RadioWow. So I got the original RadioWow, plus I've got one from it's a Nokia branded one. So, but I will, if I get a PL330, I'll be probably getting a couple of more. I don't like these radios that have these weird batteries, I have to say. Hey, Tristan, good evening. Nice to have you here from Newfoundland, Canada. What else do we have? Next, we'll be interested in a review of the PL-990X. Also, a head-to-head compare with the... I don't have an 880, so I can't really test it. I will test it with the... I tested a little bit. We'll test it also with the Tecsun PL-680. So, what else do... Bobby, I hate to tell you, but does anybody think RAE, Radio Argentina Exterior, anything rock bottom? But what's happening? I know that they're having a lot of problems. Are they still at the... is RAE still doing just one show a week? Because I know because of COVID, they for a while, they had only one show a week that was repeating all the time. Joe, that 330 interests me more than 990, already having 880. It is an interesting... The 330 is an interesting one because it fills a... It will depend on the price, but it kind of fills the gap between a PL380 and higher PL660, 680, and so on. It's going to be interesting to see because it has SSB. They kind of push it in a way that it's to kind of be an upgrade to the PL380. That's going to be interesting to see for sure. David, hope you don't get COVID. Yeah, well, let's cross our fingers. Maybe I got it and I didn't know. A lot of people get it without any symptoms. But, I'm one of those that's super careful in general. I don't go out and do crazy stuff. I take my distance. I wear my face mask all the time, everywhere I go. I try to really, minimize the I didn't go to bars. Pretty much didn't go to bars since, they reopened because I don't think it's a good idea. So, yeah, but it did say, Bobby Burgess, that they can't do more than once a week show because the COVID is so bad down there that they don't have anybody in the studios. They said it's because of COVID that the show is only a once a week thing for now. They're hoping that it's going to come back to normal when the virus gets, under control. Thomas, nice to have you here in Upper Michigan. Jeff King from Jacksonville, Florida. Pretty cool. Joseph, can you compare the GP5 ATM versus I Will? That was one of the first things that I thought because I like the GP5, the Conicom GP5 easy tuning mode. And I know it's one of the good ETM functionalities. So when I go to the park, or even if I don't go to the park, I could test it here, but I'd like to test it in a lower noise environment. So this weekend is going to be in the 50s. In the 50s, it's okay. When it's sunny, it's nice. It's okay. So I'm going to try to, in the next few days, to go to the park with the two radios and do a scan with both of them and see what comes out. So Robert Shine, have you noticed the odd branded radio R108? It's called the Sewadon R108. Looks identical. It's probably the same radio. I've noticed a few radios that are branded differently. I've seen, oh man, I forgot the name. I saw a really weird named radio that I thought, oh man, a new manufacturer doing shortwave radios. And when I started looking closely at the picture, it's actually an XH Data D808 under a weird Chinese name brand. But it's obviously an XH Data D808. So there's like they take that brand that we know here and they change the name, but it's in reality the same thing. It's just the name that's different. WF7I Homebrew. I sent Duke Ammon, the engineer at WNJC, the link to my recordings from his tests. He thanked me and said he would send me a QSL card if I send a self-addressed stamped envelope. Oh, yeah. Do. Cool. Chris Powell. Nice to have you here from Minnesota. AE0IY. What else do we have? Farges Crafter's Kitchen. I wish I knew Japanese. Found some great videos on YouTube showing. Oh yeah, there's a lot of Japanese Sony and Japanese branded radios that are totally Japanese language. I've seen quite a few of them for sure. Mike Anna 261. Nice to have you here. What else do we have? Noodle Ham Operator. Nice to have you here from Georgia. Cool. Robert China is glad to see so many shortwave enthusiasts. Geisha Escape. Nice cartridge. You got to start up a computer museum channel again. You know, maybe I should. It's still there. Funniest thing. You remind me that this morning, as I was checking stuff for my YouTube channel on the tech channel, the Windows and computer channel, pops up on the right side. You know, there's recommendations. Pops up on the right side, a recommendation. I see Commodore 64. What was the game? The game was one of the James Bond movies that was into a game for Commodore. And I look at the upper right. It's like, oh, a Commodore. Look at that, a channel with Commodore 64 games. And I look at the name of the channel, it says Old Computer Museum, and I'm like, oh, that's my channel. But you know what? I was surprised. The video was like 15,000 views, and I was like, yeah, maybe I should go back and reactivate it. I don't even remember the password. I need to and the email that I used with it also. I need to check that out because maybe I should. I'd like to know how many how many views total and how many subscribers is there on that channel. One thing for sure, it doesn't meet the minimum standard because it I wouldn't know if it's monetized. So it's not monetized. It means that it doesn't meet the minimum, or maybe it is, and I didn't see it happen. Because what happened with YouTube, so for those that are not on YouTube really, or have YouTube channels that don't understand much of everything, so of course monetization, which I'm using, so the ads are giving me a paycheck every month. There's a minimum requirement now. When I started the YouTube channels back in like 2012, 2011, back then there was no minimum requirement. You would post videos and you would just monetize. You would just say, I'm going to monetize this channel. And you would be monetized, even if you had just 100 views, and even if you made just 2 cents, they'd add that 2 cents to your AdSense account. But about 2 years ago, something like that, they changed the rules. And one of the reasons they changed the rules was because of trollers. And it's sad because a couple of people that I know were meeting the requirement for a month, the minimum monthly amount. So when you're on YouTube, AdSense pays you when you reach a $100 threshold. If you are capable of reaching or making more than 100 every month on the 21st, around the 21st of the month, they send you that amount. But the minimum amount to be sent out is $100. If you don't meet that, it adds up, and when it's at $100, it's sent out. So I had a few people around me that actually, because of me, said, "Hey, I'm starting a YouTube channel. We're gonna have fun." Because the first thing that I always say is, if you start a YouTube channel, don't think about earning a living off of it like I do. Start by thinking about at least just having fun making videos. Okay, start like that, because it's much more difficult today to get into a decent paycheck on YouTube than it was 6 years ago. It's really complex today. It's more difficult to build a channel and build a brand and everything. So, when they did the rule, they did a rule because I was a victim of that for a while. A lot of my videos were actually stolen and put on other channels. So I had some shortwave channel videos that were put on other channels because they would steal the video and put it on another channel, and they would monetize my content on their channel. So I'm not getting a penny off of that. But the worst channel that has been hit by that was my tech channel. My tech channel, I would post videos, and almost every single video would immediately show up on other places. And the only reason I knew for a while is because some of my fans that follow me would tell me, "You aware that that channel is stealing your videos?" And I would go there, and and then you have to go, you have to do the complaints. You have to show that that video is yours and that they stole their video. It's exactly the same thing. And then you got to sign and say, yes, this is the truth, because YouTube tells you if you're falsely, if you don't report correctly, if it's a false accusation, you are liable of being sued. And so you need to sign and say, yeah, this is my video. I'm aware that I can be sued if I don't work correctly. But you know what? At one point, every week, part of my time was to go on a channel, report the stolen videos, report enough so that after a day or two, they would tell me the channel was taken down. But there were tons of channels being done all the time, stealing content. And those were kind of bots. They were kind of automated stuff, because I remember one channel. I was posting a video on my channel. It didn't take even 5 minutes. It was on the other channel. So it was some kind of automated process, I would guess. Or that person was like always intensely looking at what I post. So because of that, YouTube came up to, okay, it's too easy to monetize. We need a minimum of monetization. So you got to grow a minimum before you are monetized. And that's where they did the rule of 1,000 subscribers minimum and 4,000 hours of video views in the last year. So if you want to be monetized, that's what you need. You need to do at least you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of views. But what happened is all the channels that I had that were monetized were demonetized. So all the ones that were giving me a couple of cents or maybe a couple of bucks, like Old Computer Museum, were demonetized because they weren't at that level yet. So that made me concentrate more on the core of what I have monetized. So right now I've got 5 channels that are at the threshold where they're giving me money. all 5 together giving me a decent paycheck every month. But there are channels that I kind of feel that I maybe should have continued something, Old Computer Museum is one that I actually removed the videos at one point. But you know what? I think that was very promising. I had a channel that was easy, quick. The name was Easy Quick Recipes. And it was based on everything that I will show you here doesn't take more than 30 minutes and you have a lunch. And so I posted 6 or 7 videos. And that was purely for the fun of it. And I was not well prepared and it was not well done technically. But I remember that when I removed the videos on that channel, they all had like more than 20, 30,000 views. What I understand today is if I had continued doing those videos, that channel would probably be one of the big channels I have today. I mean, it was like, I remember the first video I posted was how to do a nutritious, quick grilled cheese with eggs. So there was a grilled cheese with an egg inside it, a cooked egg inside it. And it was like, okay. So that was the first video. I still remember. It was like, you know what? This is a nutritious grilled cheese. It's not just, bread and cheese. There's an egg in there. This is a breakfast, a complete breakfast. So there were things like that. And one of the things that I wanted to do with that was, anyways, I'm going to go back to radio, okay? But quickly, one of the things I wanted to do is like, I cook all the time. So if I cook all the time, why don't I make videos of me cooking stuff? Anyways, I got to do it. So, the only difference is I'm going to cook, I'm going to, make a video out of it and edit and then put it online, Anyways, enough about my stuff. Michael Satterfield, nice to have you here from South Carolina, K4AFT. Robert Shine, the computer I'm running here is a 5 or 6 year old Core i5 machine. It was actually for a long time my main computer. It's a Toshiba Core i5 from 2015, 2014-ish. It came with Windows 8 at the time, so it's like 2014 or something. And this is what is running here, running the SDR and all of that. A Core i5 machine from the time that it was my main machine for about 5 years. So Shady Pyro 90, SSTV is not all the time. Shady Pyro 90, SSTV on the International Space Station is only when they say there's going to be some. They don't have SSTV in general. They have the FM repeater on 437-800, but slow scan TV is exceptional. It's only when they do special events. Tom DXer, WPE2QED from Lower Hudson Valley, New York. Joseph Hager, nice to have you here. I haven't heard Radio Romania this week. Yeah, I heard it a couple of times, but propagation was not great. So it was not easy to to actually listen to. Most of the frequencies, propagation wasn't good enough. Mongoose, no, it's actually me. Just my haircut. I've mentioned it a few times. So 2 places where I would go. One was the main place I would go were like 4. There were like 4 old Italian guys that were like 70 years old and older. That place had been open since like 1950. And I would go there all the time. They were kind of, nice and quick. And I have this weird thing where when I get a haircut, I want you to just shut up and cut my hair. I don't want to have small talk. I'm a guy that does not like small talk to somebody I don't know. If get next to me. I don't know you, and then they're going to see you again. I want to talk about the weather, and I don't want to talk about the news. Okay, I just ignore me. Okay, and it's not because I'm not a good guy. It's just small talk isn't my thing. So when you go to a haircut, I don't want you to talk to me much. I know I am weird. I know a lot of people like that, but I am in the mode of, you know, I'm here for you to cut my hair. I want you to take 15 minutes. I'm off. Thank you so much. And, anyway, so that place was that. They would talk to whoever wants to talk, but when they would see that you're not a talking guy, they just wouldn't talk. They would just cut your hair. And I loved that. And the other place was it's a younger guy, but the guy he's one of the only guys that I think I have a conversation with. So he talks about interesting stuff and his hobbies and stuff, and he finds it interesting that I do radio stuff, and so there's some kind of affinity there. You can talk about something different than yeah, it was nice today. Yeah, beautiful sun outside, but the first one with the old guys isn't opening. They actually have a sign now that says that the place is for sale or for rent. So that's never going to happen again. And the other place, he hasn't opened, and there's no sign. There's no nothing. I don't know if it's because COVID like killed his business or something. Nothing is happening. So when my hair started to get too long, I was like, okay, what I'm going to do? Find a new place. And I went to a place like 2 streets from here, and they were charging like, $35 for a haircut. And I remember I told the guy, I said, come on, this takes 15 minutes. Doesn't cost $35. I'm sorry. I'm not getting the full treatment here. With the hair wash and the beard trimmed and that, okay. But you're gonna cut this, it's gonna last 10, 15 minutes. It's not worth $35. I'm sorry, I'm not paying for that. Not that price, I'm at the $20-ish level. And so one day when it really got long, I was like, yeah, you gotta do something about your hair. It's getting long. So I have a clipper. I took the clipper, put the number 6, and I just clipped away. And the funniest part is nobody ever told me that my haircut was nice. Since I did that myself, I think it's like 10 or 15 people, even including a couple of my friends, that said, "Oh, wow, your hair is nice." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm cutting it myself." And for the first time, people are saying it looks cool. I ain't paying anymore. But I should, here in the back, it's not nice because it's like I can't see here. So here it's like where it's all messed up. Rufus Newt says Nintendo and Atari 2600 are still used. Cool. Keisha Escapes remembers the Google Hangout days. It was really hard to hear what was going on. Well, there was no chat, really. There was no chat back then. The Google Hangouts didn't have any chat. So there was no real interaction. Randy, Riverside, California. Nice to have you here, my friend. John McClure. Nice to have you on board. So let's try to go down a little more. Roger Wilco. Nice to have you here. What else do we have? Hey, Simon Templar. Nice to have you on board. Hey, Eric Cottrell. Nice to have you on board. I'm from Massachusetts. Let me try to go down here. James Johnson, 330, $80 on Amazon. I haven't seen any of the texts on Amazon. The 990 and 330 are not, and 330 is not even on Anonco, which is the place where where if you want to buy a radio or from Tecsun, that's the place to go to. I don't think I don't think the 330 showed up. If it showed up, some seller was because they're not in production yet, apparently. So that was one of the first pre-production units that came out that everybody was showing up. David, we should have official SWL channel masks. That'd be nice. Matt, my sister might have had COVID back in January. She was ill and really strange symptoms. I was really, really sick for a couple of days in February, and sick like I have not been sick in a long, 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 long time. Technically, it shouldn't be COVID because they're kind of saying, well, there wasn't really any cases, or there shouldn't have been any cases. I don't know what it was. It was maybe just a flu or something. It lasted a few days. I felt really, really crappy. But I came back very quickly out of it. So it might not be that at all also. Prasad 330 has new feature, ETM Plus, which is very interesting, with 24 pages for a page for every hour. Oh, that is interesting. So that's kind of a new style of feature. The 990 is nice for that, the ATS functionality, and I think that's what I'm going to do. The ATS functionality fills up, which is kind of like the ETM, fills up a page of memory channels. And right now I'm using page 0. So it replaces all the page 0. But if I go and change the page, memory channel pages, and so I decide that I go to page 1 and do the same ETS, it won't touch page 0, and it will add all what it finds on Shortwave on page 1. And I could technically, every 30 minutes do a different page and then come back and say, well, this is what I found at 0 hours. This is what I had at 0:30. This is what I had at 0:1. But it's manual. I have to change the pages. But I could do that because it goes at the ETM scan stuff. Harry Cottrell, people drinking at bars and pubs, big COVID magnet. Yeah, here there's no real proof that bars and restaurants have been a problem. What they are saying mostly here is that private parties in people's homes is the major reason why we have a comeback of COVID cases. People aren't being careful. Roger Wilco, anyone tell me the strangest thing you guys heard on your shortwave radio? 200 recordings of weird stuff. That's not utility stations or long wave. There's, it depends on a lot of different things. It depends on a lot of what is strange also as a, of what's strange for you. And, I always say about, when I remember when I got the DX100 and one winter day of, one of those really gray, dark winter days where it's snowing outside and the cloud cover is thick. So it's kind of dark even at 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And I was listening to what was maybe Stanag or something, because that's been there for a long time. But some weird, digital or noise thing. And with the fact that the DX100 was drifting like crazy, it would shift in frequency all the time. That sounded so weird. I remember turning on all the lights because it was like, oh, this is so weird crap. I can tell you. Northern Dawn, 10 p.m. curfews and bars. Yeah, here they started. So here they opened the bars at in late June. So the bars closed on March 15th. They opened the bars back late June, full schedule. And I think it was early August, they decided that the bars would close at midnight. Or stop selling alcohol at midnight, close at 1 a.m. Some bars that had food had the clever thing of, oh, let's sell food. We'll be like a restaurant. So they kind of avoided the law for a while. Then they came back. They said you can't sell food to continue selling alcohol. Then they went back down to 11 p.m. and now it's like tonight the bars are open. As I'm speaking now, it's 9 p.m. until 11 p.m. Restaurants are open until midnight. But at midnight tonight, all of that shuts down. It's we're in a 28-day confinement starting at midnight tonight here in Montreal. What else do we have? Yeah, the Icom IC7005. A lot of you are waiting for that. So, yep, Quiche Escape. If it's available, you have to go and. But you do get an email. So I would have gotten an email. You have to get an email because you get an email that tells you, well, your channel has reached the, Ecadarius, forgotten that it's Wednesday night. So James Johnson. Well, we're 1 hour into the show now, so it's not too bad. Keegan, I've seen another YouTube channel, the name similar, official SWL channel with the name the SWL channel. Yeah, people try to do or use names and things that are very similar, or try to drive some of the some are trying to drive views away from you, but so he's got buzzer videos. Huh, that's interesting. Okay. What else do we have? Am I broadcast by a pirate tonight? I don't know. We would have to check out. Let's just check their usual frequency. I'm going to start the SDR Uno app. Hopefully it's going to start. And we're going to see if there's anything. I don't know. It's it's not always there. It's most of the time it's Sicko Radio Pirate that rebroadcasts me. And last week he broadcast both of my shows. So once again, I want to thank you. I want to thank him for this this possibility. Let's go on HF Underground just to see if there's pirates first of all right now. So Shortwave Pirates. At this time today, nothing is reported recently. And usually when there's a pirate, it doesn't take a lot of time that somebody's saying that there's a pirate there. The last pirate reported tonight is at 2305 UT on 6924.6 Yayman radio. So I guess it's probably not the case. Usually what I see when I go to HF Underground is, oh, there's this pirate again broadcasting that guy from Canada on the YouTube official YouTube channel. So, Ray Carlisi, nice to have you here from New Jersey. So what else do we have? No, the shows are always the Wednesday show is always 8 p.m. Eastern. That's 0 UT. Or Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 20 hours UT. Audiophile Tubes, nice to have you on board. He misses the Russian woodpecker signals. These were all over the place. There's a lot of similar sounding signals today, though. Jason Francis from Ottawa, nice to have you on board. So, what else do we have? How's the weather in Canada, said James Johnson. Kind of cool. It's 13.3 Celsius right now, which is, I don't know, something like 13, something in the 50s, somewhere in the 50s. Joe Brown, nice to have you here from Southeast Michigan. We had a lot of rain in the past 24 hours. A lot of rain. It's going to be quite cool in the next few days. Joseph Conti, nice to have you here. Waited for your review of the Tecsun and decided to just order the XH data. Thank you for your honest opinions. Your knowledge is greatly appreciated. Honestly, in a very simple term, the 990X is a great radio. But for anybody that has a tight budget, it's hard to really push anybody away from, say, an XH Data D808, because it's half the price. It receives what the 990X does. Yeah, the audio quality makes it a little easier and a little better. The single sideband makes it truly an amazing receiver to tune. ATS, ETM functionality is really nice. It's still twice the price. And if your main idea is to get that signal, you're not gonna miss out on anything with an XH Data. It's there. And whatever I'll hear on my 990, you'll hear on the XH Data. So when it comes to it comes down to the price and performance. XH Data D808 is still a big winner there. And where I would say that maybe you should move on, if you go to the C Crane, CC Skywave SSB, that radio is up there in price range. And if you're to shed $175-ish for a C Crane CC Skywave with tiny speaker with sound that sounds crappy a little bit, there you should move on and get 990X. You're going to be much happier. Richer sound and a big radio. If you like a bigger radio, nice big radio. Somebody was asking me how big it was, because somebody was saying, well, looks like a big radio, because it's a very, very difficult way to compare. So people saw the XH Data, saw the 990X bigger next to it, said, oh, it's a big radio. It's very relative. It's a bigger portable, yes. But somebody was mentioning, it's like, oh, it looks like, the Sony ICF 2010. No, the ICF 2010 is bigger than that. It is bigger than that. This is halfway between the XH Data and a Sony ICF 2010, in size. It's not as big as a Sony 2010. It is a bigger radio, yes. It is not a huge radio, but it is a bigger radio. I wouldn't need to take the size of the radio, actually. So be careful. It's difficult, on a video, on a picture, to grasp the size of a radio when you don't have measures. When I got the XH Data, I thought that thing was bigger than that, honestly. So, Kevin Wood, I owned for a while a Tivio V115, and it's a very crappy receiver, but it's so surprising what it does for the price paid. I paid like $18 for it, or something like that. It's crazy that it has a keypad and all of that, but it's so noisy. Electronics inside are so noisy. It's almost impossible. And here with my FM, really strong FM stations, the breakthrough in FM signals renders the Tivio useless pretty much. Joe Brown, nice to have you on board from Southeast Michigan. I think I said that already. What else do we have? Roger Wilco. Yeah, you probably heard the Screaming Preacher. 7570 is the frequency there. What else do we have? WF7I Homebrew, Mars Operators, one on 4000, one on 4027. Yeah, these are two frequencies, especially around the 0-100. They have nets almost every night. Almost every night. What else do we have? What else do we have? Let's go down. Yogi, have you ever opened your PL-680 for some fine adjustments? If so, a video of what you did would be great. No, I never did, because the only problem with the PL-680 is the frequency calibration. It can be fixed in my version. The only version, there's a later version that they actually posted that has a menu for frequency calibration inside it. In my case, there isn't, so there's nothing much I can do there, for sure. Clint Martin says, from Ontario, moved to Vancouver Island. Radio sucks here because of the mountains. It's not that much the mountains, honestly, for shortwave. It's the fact that you're on the West Coast. And the West Coast is always, signals are always a little weaker. A lot of the signals are weaker. You do get more signals from Asia, though. But everything that, like, for example, Romania, Turkey, and all the signals that I get from Europe are much more difficult. So, oh no, we were on the IRC channel, Kirchescape. So the Hangout would not have a chat, but we were on the IRC chat. Dan V, nice to have you here from Ohio, and 8WJZ. What else do we have? James Johnson was gonna put up his 11-meter antenna tonight, but had too long of a work day. It happens, but you'll have some time. Try to do that in the weekend. Roger Wilco just picked up an almost new ICOM ICR 20 wideband. Paid $350 for it in Toronto. Yeah, you shouldn't want the R30 radio bad. Honestly, it's and the R20 is okay, but kind of a disappointing radio, honestly. Shelly, nice to have you here. On my Kindle, I have a scanner app where I listen to fire emergency stuff. Found a channel called Pennsylvania P25 Ham Talk Group. What is that? So it's simply a ham radio group, because there's a lot of amateur radio digital groups. For example, there's D-StarNets, there's P25 talk groups for amateur radio, there's DMR, there's all sorts of things. It's simply a way of a different way, a digital way of doing amateur radio, basically. So what you're listening is typically a kind of a repeater or a group that uses P25 as its main digital, as a digital mode. That's it. Rufus, how do you use ATS and what does it do? So ATS is it differs a little bit from ETM. So let's try to explain it in a way. So easy tuning mode is a scan of, for example, on shortwave, for the radios that use it, the international broadcast bands, and it stores whatever it finds in that scan in temporary memories. So ETM is a way to scan for what you're what's on the air, but it's temporary. I mean, what it stores, it's not going to be stored all the time. If you turn off the radio, the list of frequencies on some radios is lost. In some, it still is there, but you'll have to redo a scan. They're not meant to be permanent storage. They're meant to be Your radio is scanning at this time what's on the air so that you can actually see what signals it found. ATS is meant to be different. So a radio that has ATS functionality is there to scan. So what it'll do is it's going to scan the same thing, the memory, the different frequencies, but ATS functionality is there to scan and keep it in a official memory channel. So for example, ATS on most radios, so on the PL-990x, for example, it works on shortwave. And on shortwave, it kind of looks like an ETM scan or easy tuning mode. Most radios don't have ATS on shortwave. Most radios limited to FM and AM. The reason why? It's a simple way of, let's just press that ATS button and we're immediately going to automatically store in the memory channels all the FM stations we heard, all the AM stations we heard, so that you don't have to do it yourself every time you hear a new AM station. It's just going to scan through the band. And it's like, okay, I found 14 AM stations you hear. Here you go. They're in a memory channel, and you don't have to think about it. Next time you want to scan the AM band for the regular channels around you, ATS, you just go to the memory channels. They're already there. Now, the 990X and a couple of other radios do that. They added ATS on shortwave. So ATS is an automatic tuning, something like automatic tuning system. It will scan the frequency range in search of signals. But the main difference is ETM, easy tuning mode, stores them in a temporary area. ATS will always store them in an official memory bank. So if you have 500 memories in your radio and it's divided into, I don't know, 10 banks of 50 channels, the ATS functionality will use a bank and will store in those memory banks whatever it found while you were actually scanning using that functionality. So it gets permanent. ETM is scanning, getting signals, but it's not permanent. ATS is permanent because it does it officially, stores it in memory channels that you should keep. So that's pretty much what it does. In the shortwave spectrum, ATS becomes more like an ETM because we all know that compared to AM FM, where stations are there all the time, shortwave is different. Every hour, there's different stations, different frequencies. So you want to scan regularly and scan all the time because you want to see what's new, whatever it's receiving. But when it started to appear, the automatic tuning system was simply, for most radios, a quick, easy way to, let's just scan your local area for AM, FM stations, store them in memory so that you don't have to do that ever again. We have already stored the local stations for you. Matt says, possible all India radio on 7380 rough signal. I need to see if I can pull it out of the mud. Huh, interesting. Interesting. Let me just start this here, by the way. There we go. Did I get anything on 7380 just out of curiosity? 7380. I get a station on 7380 here. I do get a station on 7380, but 7375 is too strong. It's Radio Romania, and it's kind of, even in upper sideband, I don't really make a difference. EIBI space. Let's check it out here. 7380. What's on at this time? 7380. 1202. Really seems like India is the only thing broadcasting at this time. So there's a chance it could be that. Because I hear it. It's very weak. I hear talk, and I hear that there's something there. According to the IBI space, All India Radio is pretty much is the only station there. So unless there's some other station we don't know of, pretty crazy. Hey, Ronald. Nice to see have you on board. So the 330 is not yet officially available, Ronald. It's still the old. It's still the old pre-production. Don't be fooled by that. It's like the 990. A lot of them were available, but they are pre-production. Pre-production. There's one here on AliExpress at $71 US. So we're gonna check it out. If you want to know if a receiver is officially out and really in production, you have to look at the at Anonco. He's the one that has them all. When he doesn't sell them, it's because they're not officially available. And he doesn't have them on his page. I see it here on AliExpress and different websites. I wouldn't buy those. Not until it's really official. We know that it's the production run. The H501 is the same thing. They've been out for a while, but it's a few 100 that were there in the past. What else do we have? Mateo Castro, what camera do you use to film your videos? Very simple. I use my smartphone. I used to have a Sony Handycam, HD Handycam for my videos, but I now I have my old. So what I did, so I this is the this is officially a Galaxy S9 S20. So this is a Galaxy S20, which has a darn amazing camera. This is my main phone. It replaces my Galaxy S9 Plus, which has a good enough camera that I've actually decided to convert my Galaxy S9 Plus phone into my video camera for everyday videos. Plus, added bonus, from the phone, you can upload the videos. Makes it easy to do so. I don't with today's phones, they are so high quality in the video and the pictures. I don't see why I should invest in a good camera anymore for making videos. Plus, these actually make 4K if you want. So, pretty cool. What else do we have? What else do we have? Welcome back, Robert Chine in 3VXT. Shenghe, nice to have you on board. WRMI 5850. Cool. What else do we have? Kirsch Escape. I also pirate broadcast your show on FM. Haha. Oh, man. Yeah, XH Data is, one of those weird brands like the Ratty Wires. It's so weird. But they are great radios, honestly. Do I think internet radio is starting to become more popular than FM broadcast radio? I wouldn't think so. I don't see people listening to radio on the internet in any way. You know, they might listen to podcasts and stuff like that, but it's it's not really taking off, honestly. What else do we have? What else do we have? Let's go down. Oh yeah, it's smaller than the CC radio shortwave. Absolutely, Moria. So definitely smaller than that. Keisha escape. I don't know. Jill Hull's going to the bathroom on the whole show, especially when he's drinking. Yeah, no, I have a lot of space in there, I guess. Crossy Fiver, nice to have you here from El Paso. The microphone I use is a Maono. Oh man, I don't remember the model. I don't have the box anymore because I send the box to the recycle. It's a Mahono USB microphone. Maono. Maono. I was looking for a good microphone on eBay. Not on eBay, on Amazon, for my stuff. And this one, which is about, so it's about 80 Canadian dollars, which means it's probably like 50 US bucks, is was one of the best rated microphones. And I'm extremely happy because it sounds amazingly good. Comes with the articulated arm and everything you need. Really, really cool. So pretty cool. Lucho R. It is too expensive. I think there are better options such as DPS SDR box for 100. It depends what you want to do. Depends what you want to do. Because a lot of people don't want to have an SDR. Yeah, so it's out of the question. I don't think it is too expensive necessarily, because it is higher quality, and for a portable solution without computers and anything, pretty good. But it's it is in a higher priced range of a radio, that's for sure. Arthur's Autocrat's Kitchen. Sure, you talked about in your full review. You will talk about in your full review, but are there any potential deal breakers with the 990? Let's just say that the two things I would say that is going to make you reflect upon should I or not go there and buy a 990X will be, one, it does not get more signals than any other radio that is decent. So if you're thinking of buying a radio because it might be better and you'll get more, you're not getting more. You're getting it better thanks to the audio quality of the speaker, but you're not getting more. Single sideman, of course, is improved and much more stable and much more interesting in tuning around. And if you're looking for a radio that does synchronous detection well, the 990X is a crappy synchronous detection radio. You're not going to enjoy the synchronous detection there for sure. That's for sure. What else do we have? No problem, Rufus. That's totally possible. I do hear something on 7380. It's the only thing that's on the schedules. So here's 7375. Radio Romania is really strong. It makes it very difficult. So Nico B, nice to have you here from Melbourne, Australia. Yeah, there's definitely music. Oh yeah, it's India. Definitely India. With the music that's playing right now. Oh yeah, that's India. That's definitely Indian music. So 7380 we do have. It's weak, but it's there. All India radio. Oh, that's cool. Oh, interesting. Interesting to see that India is coming in on 7380 at this time of night. Weird propagation. Weird propagation. RJDA Dakota, nice to have you on board. In bars, what they often use is more of the like they'll have a stream of audio from the internet. Like here, I've noticed a few bars use the Stingray audio for their music in the bars when in the background music. Shanghai digital modes on 5850. Are there FEMA-like frequencies in Ontario, Canada? I need to check that out. There are quite a few emergency frequency channels that are logged and that are stated to be for Canada in general on HF. But I need to do something. You know what? You're giving me an idea for maybe next month's messenger column. What are the emergency service frequencies on HF that are available in Canada? That could be interesting. Stephen Wood, very weak pirate on 6305. Yeah, probably European pirate. European pirates are in that frequency range in general. Yarabamba, nice to have you here. Unbelievable. Shortwave radio for 21 Canadian dollars. Yeah, it might not be the best shortwave radio, though, but bonne nuit, TVDXer. Fais attention à toi. Toujours un plaisir. À vendredi. Keisha Skip, remember last year when Joe bought this mic new, the only thing that sucks about is we can't hear his radios anymore. Yeah, it's very directional. It's very, very directional. But I do have, so I've got some more equipment here. I've got a console here on the table that wasn't there before, with, of course, my some headphones. And I've got a Shure microphone here. Maybe Friday we should try that. I'll exchange the microphone from here. This is an official Shure microphone that is for the console with the XLR connector. Maybe Friday, what we could do, I'd like to try that. In the console, I can actually drive the console in my PC. So I'll be using the PC with the console. Of course, because of that, I'll have to wear these headphones. I will have to do that if I want to see what I'm doing. But what is going to change is, well, I don't have if I just talk, but if I add other capabilities, I will wear the headphones for that. And this is going to enable me to drive the audio, for example, of the SDR here, directly to you guys. So if I hear something, all I have to do is drive up the console and you guys are going to hear it like I hear it here. Or I can even I can also, even with Bluetooth, the console has Bluetooth. I can drive Bluetooth audio and stuff. So I'm going to try that. So if you guys want me to try that, maybe we could do it on Friday. And at the same time, it's going to be an experiment for me to see how it goes when I drive audio from the console. And I will want actually your feedback of how do you think the audio sounds like compared to this mic, for example, because this one is USB. It connects directly to a USB port on my PC. The console, when I use the console, this microphone I can't use. I need to use an XLR microphone on it. So maybe Friday that could be interesting, and we could drive the audio from here to you guys if I hear something, or if I'm tuning around, you guys are going to hear what I'm tuning around. And I can even drive. There's a line out in the PL-990X. I can even drive the audio out of the line out into the console. So maybe that would be an interesting experiment Friday. All I have to do is exchange the microphone, this microphone for the Shure microphone on the arm, and that's it. So I think we're going to do that Friday and see and check it out. And you guys are going to be able to hear what I'm hearing because through the console is going to work. So Piet Mondrian student, nice to have you here. Yeah, no, I don't think they're going to fix the sync. You know, the 880 never fixed the sync. Synchronous detection, for sure. Agent Smith, how many hours a day do you listen to Shortwave? Do you listen morning, afternoon, or evenings? You know, I work from home, so I work from home. That means I have the flexibility to listen to Shortwave anytime I want. Typically what I do, and that's pretty much my Shortwave day. If you guys want to know a little bit of what my Shortwave day would be like, okay? For example, tomorrow, Thursday, is a day I plan to work on a lot of videos. And of course, they're going to be the review, the Tecsun, and all of that. That will also equal I will wake up and work from home all day, not really go out much. In a day that I work from home, what happens is I get up in the morning, make myself coffee, start my computers, and I immediately start the SDR here. So what I do is this works most of the time. You know, if I work a big day of work doing videos and stuff, the SDR here is going to be all day long on. If there's nothing interesting, I'll still leave it on. I'll just mute the audio. And sometimes I'll look at the waterfall if I see something interesting. And from time to time, I'm going to try some stations and stuff. So depending on the day, I could be almost in a shortwave world almost all day. To give you guys an example of that is yesterday. So you guys saw some of the videos I posted. Yesterday, I had a lot of things, a lot of videos to do. It was raining outside also, and it was like, you know, crappy gray weather. So it was like, it's perfect day to work from home and listen to the radio. I turned on, and I wanted to test the battery life also. So I turned on the SDR here. I turned on this at 9 a.m. yesterday morning. I went to bed at 1 a.m. I had not turned off the 990X at all. I let it go through and run and tune different frequencies with less audio sometimes when I wanted to do videos, but at the same time, it was like a battery test. So from 9 a.m. to 1 a.m., which is 16 hours, the 18650 battery that Tecsun gives with the radio, which is in here, was able to go through 16 hours. Now, the battery indicator was really at the lowest. So that means it was close to being out of power. But it was interesting because that experiment, I just turned on the radio. So that experiment showed me that the 18650, which is rated at, I think it's 2600 milliamp hour, will power your 990X for at least 15 hours. And there are two batteries included. So technically you would have, I could see myself having 2 full days on the 990X. So anyways, the radios were on all day. So I alternate, I'll do tech videos. There's stuff that I do. Sometimes I'm in radio mood, radio time. Sometimes I'm in my tech stuff because I have my tech channel to take care of. I'll lower the volume, but I'll leave the volume. I'll leave the radios on all the time, pretty much. Check stuff from time to time. See if I can hear whatever. Go on 20 meters and see if I can hear some European amateur radios, operators, and stuff like that. But a typical day that I work from home, the shortwave radio will be on pretty much all day. The only time where I'll shut this down, and the radios in general, is when I get overloaded, because doing radio and videos all the time, you tend at some point to get overloaded in everything you do. So what you do at some point is, okay, I got enough shortwave for today, and I shut down everything. Then I'll change. I've got a projector here. You guys don't see it, but I got a projector, and on that wall, I've got a 100-inch screen. So what I will sometimes do, still work on my stuff. I'll drop down the 100-inch screen and start a projector and maybe look at Netflix stuff on it. Stuff like that. I've got my, in my living room, I've got a 50-inch TV that I use, a Toshiba, which between now and Christmas, that 50-inch is going to move here. So here, this is 32-inch TV. Here, we will have a 50-inch TV by the end of the year, which will be the 50-inch I have in my living room. This is going to stay in my office also, but it's going to serve a different purpose. I'm going to kind of reorganize what I'm going to do with it. Because I am going to have my living room painted this month. Once all of the paint is done, I am going to get myself a 65-inch TV in the living room, because I got a living room that's pretty big. And I have to say, the size of my living room, a 50-inch TV, when you're sitting in the living room, you're like, why do my TV look small? And 50-inch does look small in my living room. So I'm going to get at least 65 or maybe 70. I don't know. It'll depend on how much cash I have. And it's going to be my Christmas gift. My Christmas gift this year is a big TV, a new big TV. So I'm probably going to check for like a Samsung 4K, 65, 70-inch, something around there. I've seen some really nice ones for like $800, $900, $1,000. That's gonna be the thing. And I've been thinking for a while that 50-inch is gonna be very useful here. Bigger screen is gonna be more interesting to see here also for you guys. What else do we have? Joe says that mic has been a standard for bands for years. Yeah, I know. It's that Shure microphone is I see it everywhere. I see it in karaoke clubs everywhere. So Robert Shine, this is actually a TV and not a monitor officially. So this is a Sony 32-inch TV that dates back to 10 years maybe. I think that TV must have at least 10 years now. So I had that TV I purchased because I want to have a TV in the bedroom until I noticed that I don't watch TV in the bedroom. I just I go to sleep in the bedroom, you know. And basically what's going to happen is the what happened is I thought what I could do with it, you know. It's like I don't want it never I never use it in the bedroom. So that's where it came the idea that, oh, this could be very nice for the SDR here in my office when I do the live shows. But this is 32-inch. The computer driving it is so I have what I'm streaming with right now is an Acer Nitro 5 gaming laptop that I purchased last year. It's a little more than a year old now. It's about I purchased it, I think, is in August of last year. The main reason was I needed to have a more powerful PC. When you do live streaming and when you have HD cameras and stuff, you notice that anybody that's been in the PC world for a long time, what was the main thing that made you change your PC was the power needed to do whatever you do. So gamers typically change their PC much more often than the average people because they need power. And that where gaming is where you see your PC ages quickly. Streaming, HD streaming, making videos, editing, all of that is also something that demands a lot on your PC. And you notice that it ages quickly. So the last year of my PC, which is the one here, which is a Toshiba Core i5, Intel Core i5 PC with 8 gig, it has 8 gigabytes RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive. It was very powerful when I purchased it, and the proof of it is 6 years later, it's running an SDR and it's still good. It's slow when I do stuff compared to my Acer Nitro 5. That's where I see that it actually is slower. But for most people, that computer would still be a great computer for everyday use, you know. And for the SDR, it works perfectly well, even though it's 6 years old. But I always purchased PCs that were more powerful every time. I always put extra money on my laptops. You know, when I was a tech guy, I remember one of the things that I would hear all the time was, "Wow, your PC is so fast compared to mine." But you know, the reality is, yeah, but you got a $500 laptop. I paid $1,500 for mine because I looked at the specs and it has the top performance. That's why it's fast compared to yours. And people were always like, wow, your PC is so fast. Yeah, man, my PC is 3 times the price of yours. It has to, you know, there's a reason for it. But for most people, you know, it doesn't matter. Most people don't buy a laptop that costs $1,500. My Acer Nitro 5, the way that it's configured with an SSD drive and a 1 terabyte regular drive and the RAM and everything, and the NVIDIA graphics, you know, adapter in it, cost me $1,800 last year. But it's $1,800 that is an investment for me for this. So the last time that I did my live shows on the old Toshiba, my computer was running, the CPU was running 100% all the time. It was like overheating. It was at the limit of its capabilities. I was asking too much for what it was. So that's where I came to the decision of, okay, well, let's invest in your laptop. And I wanted to go back into gaming, and let's buy one with a dedicated NVIDIA GPU for gaming too. So it's a 6-year-old laptop that's running this. Works great. And I mean, that laptop, $1,500 in 2014, it's giving me a great run for my money. Works great, and it's still working great. And for my Insider channel, this is my Windows Insider machine at the same time. That's why at the beginning of the show it was still updating, because there was new Insider build today. But that's what's running it, basically. And that's where it shows that, a 6-year-old PC is running an SDR Play device and I could actually go to the 10 megahertz spread, and it's going to be 10 megahertz. So it is powerful enough for that. And it tells you that you don't need to have the most powerful laptops at the same time to run an SDR like that, for example. So, anyways, I think that's going to be nice for Friday for the console thing that I was talking about earlier. I'm going to change the mic, and we're going to check out how the audio quality sounds and stuff. And I'll be able to inject sounds. Maybe Friday we could do a special show of a mix of going back in time and interval signals and tuning shortwave, and having all sorts of audio clips. I can even use the Bluetooth functionality, which means that I'll be able to send my interval signals from my phone to the thing, and you guys will be able to hear it. I think that's going to be an interesting test. Maybe that we could do this Friday. I wanted to do it for the last few weeks. I was like, okay, we need to test it and try that. But I used the console to do the international radar report. And one of the things for anybody that listens to the International Radio Report on CKUT, you might have noticed that when we started doing the show pre-recorded, because the studios are closed, I was doing it here, and I did it the only way that was possible, and it was a complicated way, but it would work. But it was noisy, and what happened is I got tired of every Sunday morning listening to the show and hearing a background noise or rumble. I was getting tired of that. And a month ago, I was listening to the International Radio Report on the Sunday morning. I was hearing the rumble in my radio, and I said, okay, I got enough of that noise. I want it to be more professional. So that's what made me buy the console. Since then, the shows have been so clear and so nice. The last 3 weeks that we've been doing it, wow, I love it. Quality is perfect. No background noise, hiss, or whatever. And it was definitely much better. And of course, I wanted to use the console to the live shows here and inject the sound of the shortwave. Like, now the SDR is going to be injected directly, which means all I have to do is turn the knob here, and you guys hear what's here. Because this microphone, it has a great sound, and this microphone also has a great, a very positive side to it. It's extremely directional, and it's cool that it is, because it removes anything around here. Somebody would talk at the other end there, you guys would not hear him, because it's so directional that you have to be in front of it. You got to be right here, or it doesn't work. But what you were mentioning earlier is the biggest problem of directional microphones is before you could hear that because the microphone would pick up everything. Now you don't, because the speaker's there and the microphone doesn't hear what's there because it's too directional. So when I put the sound up, I have to like really, really put it real strong for you guys to hear something. So I think Friday is going to be nice for that. We're going to try that Friday. What else do we have? What else do we have? Oh yeah, James Johnson. I realize I have a great life. Honestly, I mean, I live from home, work from home. This is cool. It's easy to lose. It's easy to lose track of how good a life you have sometimes. Uh, I've been working from home now for a long time. I was a tech guy before, and it's something that is nice, and I'm happy to be able to do what I want to do. Keisha Escape, does DSP use more battery? I noticed that non-DSP radios last longer, not just in runtime, but also in standby, just running the clock and timers. Well, no, you know what? It's the build, the way they are built. That is the question here. Because the DSP chip, the DSP radios, portable radios, all use the same chip. They all use the silicon integrated 4734, something like that. A well-built radio around it does last as long as any other radio. It doesn't drain a battery more than any other analog PLL radio. The problem is we have examples of radios that drain batteries. Countycom GP5 or Tecsun PL-990x, for example, which drain batteries for some reason. Another one is RadioWow. RadioWow R108. It drains the battery when it's not used. I don't know why. There's something weird about that way of doing things. It's not because it's a DSP. I think it's because of the way they designed it that it has some flaw, and there's more power being drained off the battery than usual. Patrick Arnson, if you could only have one PL-990x or equivalent or a good SDR, if I only have one, I will definitely choose the SDR. I mean, just an example. The 990X is $235 US dollars. The RSPDX SDR I'm using here, which is amazing, and his wideband goes up to 2 gigahertz, is 199 US dollars. If I have the choice of one, I'm getting an RSPDX. I'm not getting a PL-990X. You know? Gaetan Belil, Shortwave, real passion for you. Yeah, absolutely. 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 I mean, man, it drove so many aspects of my life over time. And I've been on and off. I mean, there were years I didn't do a lot, but there are years I listened like crazy, and it's really nice. Rob Webster, nice to have you here from the UK. Well, TVs here are used for the internet. I don't watch cable TV. I've got like, I don't know, 100 channels to watch on cable TV. Every time I just start, looking and going through the channels, it's like, that Bruce Springsteen song, 57 channels and nothing on. Pretty much. It's 100 channels and nothing on. When I watch TV in the living room, I'm watching YouTube, I'm watching Netflix, or I'm watching some. I got quite a few tech podcasts that I watch also. I don't watch cable TV much. I don't watch regular TV much. I don't find anything interesting there. Everything I watch, I stream off the internet. Yeah, it depends on what you want, Robert Prosper. The 990X, it's not necessarily, depending on what you're looking for, it's not necessarily what you know. Southern Rock, nice to have you here. Great article for Canadian DX Messenger, September, your utilities description on the Canadian 2 megahertz range. Yeah, and that's going to continue. This month, I'm doing a little out of range utility column, but we're going to continue a lot on what's in the different range of frequencies in the next months for the utility column. And I gotta complete my utility. I completely forgot the utility column. It was yesterday morning. I woke up and I was like, we're September 29th. I have to send that utility column, and I totally forgot I have to do it. It was like there were so many things this month that it just, Leonard Lakey, our online SDR is cheating. If you don't have a radio, it's funny because that is always coming back to the same conversation of what's funny and what's cheating, what's not cheating. Some even an SDR at home, some are like, oh, well, that's cheating. There's no cheating. It's an old way of thinking that you have to have a radio with knobs and a display for it to be a radio. It's an old way of thinking, and radio is radio. If you don't have a radio and you're using an online SDR, you're using an online SDR. That's all. There's no cheating there. I don't see the cheating point in there. I use the Kiwi SDRs online so often. I like to listen to what you can hear from another country. Where I will say it's cheating is if you're taking that for DX purposes. DX is more, in my opinion, DX is more what I'm going to get here from a very long distance. That's DX. Using an online SDR to be, closer to whatever you can listen to, it's not DX. That's cheating. But that said, it's a way of listening in. Look at the QSL card. I've got one QSL card that, if you want to call it cheating, is cheating. I've got the LRA 36, Antarctica QSL card station. I don't hear it here. I don't get it here. So I went to a Brazilian SDR, and I could hear it there. And I made a report. I did say that I was using a Brazilian SDR. I was fair. And I posted the link to my video showing it. But, okay, it's kind of cheating, but is it? If I'm not hearing it at all here, never, maybe not cheating. It depends on your location and what you're doing also. Paul McDonald, nice to have you here. VA7ZZT from British Columbia. James Johnson is in Florida. You know what, Robert Prosper? You're not alone in saying that. I went out and did a few things today. I went to the restaurant. All day, I thought that it was Thursday. So you're not alone. I'm not alone in feeling Thursday. It's Wednesday, actually. Oh, man. Gaetan Beleda, upgrading my PC for the purchase of the MFS 2020. What else do we have? Oh yeah, I saw that today about that fiscal year thing. Oh man. Oh man, Keisha Escape. That was the story. For those that don't know, what he's mentioning is when you're a tech guy, you get a lot. I've been a tech guy for 15 years, going to everybody's homes fixing computers. There's so many things that happen, or you see, or you're. I got. I should do a YouTube channel with reenactment with people. I actually, a friend of mine that I was giving all my tech stories. He said, you should have a little gang of people and make YouTube capsules that, like, 20-minute, 10-minute little capsules of all of your stories recreated in a sitcom or a YouTube a type sitcom. He said it would be super popular. You got so many good ones in there that's incredible. So what he's talking about is I go to fix a computer, and it's an old couple. They're like 75-year-old, and that's a long time ago. It's like, I guess, 2010, 2009, 2010. So I'm 40 years old back then. They bought a new computer, and my job is to transfer from their old computer to the new computer all the pictures and documents and everything they have. And I have this special cable that I plug into USB ports. And what I simply have to do is, in the software, copy and paste, and it transfers. And you just let it do whatever it has to do. It transfers. Transfer doesn't go well. At some point, it gives an error message. And I'm like, I'm very professional. So it's like, okay, I need to check where it actually failed. And when I start looking at the different folders, I noticed that where it failed was in the middle of transferring the My Pictures folder. So you guys probably start getting the drift here. It's in the My Pictures folder that it actually failed. So I go to the last folder that it transferred, and I look at, did it transfer everything in there? When I click the folder, that folder that has no name whatsoever is full of naked pictures of the old couple in every position that you can imagine, that I see the little thumbnails appear in Windows. I think it was like Windows XP. So I'm like, okay. I just quickly compare and notice that, half of the pictures are missing. So I have to take half of the pictures. And of course, seeing the 75-year-old couple naked. And, they're not there. So it's like, okay, cool. Thank God they're not watching what I'm doing now. So I click on a picture, but instead of clicking, I kind of accidentally double click. And here goes out real big a picture of the naked couple on the screen. The computer's super slow. So I'm like, okay, I need to see that. And I'm about to close the window, and I hear them coming to see what I'm doing. And I'm like, oh God, they're coming. What the F? So I click the little X, but of course the computer's slow. So nothing happens. And when it does happen, the picture like drops down like line by line, like and they're approaching, and I'm like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. And then the picture just disappears. And I'm like, oh phew. And they just enter the room, and I'm like, oh God. They gotta, like, imagine the scene. I'm there, they're naked on the screen, and I was like, yeah, they're gonna say, wow, the tech guy's pervert. He's looking at our old pictures. Oh man. So some of those stories like that, you just can't make. You guys will understand that you cannot make up a story like that. You have to live through it. It's one of those moments as a a tech guy that you're like, yeah, okay. Oh god. Yeah, Kish escaped live tuning the bands. That's something I need to check out what we could do with that. I've had somebody the other day mention, says, when you were like just tuning the bands, not really talking much. It's kind of fun sometimes to have that going on all the time. What else do we have? Oh, that was a close call, I can tell you. Actually, Roger Walco, not the SDR necessarily, but I've been I started dabbling. I have an account and everything. I dabbled on my ICOM ICR 8500 to put it on global tuners. I'm going to try to check out and try to do that at some point. The computer that would do it would be the desktop that I have here that I don't use, so I need to check that out. A man is not a man without an 80-inch TV. I would have an 80-inch TV, honestly, but they're getting really too expensive. I don't want to pay more than, let's say with taxes and everything, my upper range is not much more than $1,500 for a TV. I'm going to see. What? Got kicked out, Rufus? That's weird. Wow. Radio Northern Europe International. Yep. James Johnson, broadcast TV so lame. At least on the net, you can watch what interests you. Yeah, that's probably what happens, for sure. Yeah, Kisha Escape, absolutely, and SDR with knobs that costs you a lot of money. Absolutely. Well, it depends what you do with the like Shenhe says. Living in the USA, listening to WebSDR in Europe can be cheating. It depends what you're DXing. It's not cheating if you're listening to something you can never hear in your location, honestly. And cheating is a big word. I mean, it's what is cheating exactly? Where and what context do we do cheating is? And honestly, a keyway SDR, if you don't have a shortwave radio, it's a great way to get acquainted with radio in general, honestly. Carlos Aguila says an SDR or web SDR is perfect for the person to get understanding and experience, get the feeling, not cheating at all. It's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. But there's no cheating per se. Uh, A quick rating from you out of 5 stars for the XH Data D808. It's a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5, if not a 4.5 out of 5, because of the price and what you get as a receiver that is so amazingly good. Installing the MLA 30 Plus on the car. Wow, that'd be interesting. Um, Often what I did was when I transferred file, which was much faster, was just to take the hard drive out of the PC, plug it in the other PC, and that is super fast from the this SATA port or whatever. But that old PC and the new PC were like, that old one had like an IDE hard drive. The new PC had a SATA hard drive and didn't have any IDE ports or anything. You had to. It was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to use the USB transfer cable. Shady Power 90 found an SMA to 3.5 millimeter radio antenna adapter cable on the AliExpress. So cool. Oh yeah, I was press the off button. I can tell you, it's a very awkward moment. I can tell you that. Very awkward moment. Prasad says we've gone through similar situations in the same profession. Oh, I can tell you that. Oh man. Actually, what happened, Keisha Escape, what I probably mentioned is one of the pictures, the guy was uh the man the man was lying on his belly, so all you could see in the back was his balls. It was like, oh god. I was like, yeah, I'm a pervert. Man, take care of VA7ZZT. There's so many stories. When I was a tech guy. It's just crazy. It's one of those things that you can't, you go there and you're like, yeah. The one of the funniest was so I had a special for a course. So that course would run for 6 weeks, 2 hours every week. And there was a special price. This lady calls me and says, I know nothing about computers. I'm interested in your course so I can actually learn. And she says, I'm interested, but I don't know you. And you're going to come in my home. And I live alone. Can I call some of your clients to verify that you are for real? And I tell her, I said, well, that's kind of a weird thing because, put yourself as one of my clients. Would you like people you don't know who they are call you up to ask you if I'm okay? And she said, yeah, I understand. It's kind of, yeah, okay. I don't want, yeah. So I said, look, and she says, well, I'm afraid that you can be some maniac or something. And I said, well, one of the big rules in general is that maniacs do not have ads all over town with their phone numbers on it in general. And she starts laughing and she says, yeah, that's kind of true. I never seen a maniac with his phone number everywhere. So she finally takes the course. But I swear, guys, her office where the computer is on the second floor is a little like the stairs to go up. It's like a little round staircase. She would always wear these really, really short skirts. And every time we would go up, she would go up first. And it was like, okay, this is so weird. She's afraid of a maniac, but she's got her ass in my face as we go up all the time with these really, if I'd be that woman, I would wear pants maybe, especially with a guy that I have no idea who he is. Not a short skirt where I almost see your, And I was like, man, this is so weird. This is so weird. This is so weird. God. Oh yeah, the software or adapting. One of the things, Rufus, I had a few times to do is people would buy a 5 gigabyte drive, and of course the PC could not see 5 gigabytes in the BIOS, so you had this utility from Mac store or whatever that would fool the Windows operating system into seeing the 5 GB drive in a computer that cannot see such a big drive. Oh man, that was like pretty crazy. Yeah, a lot of the SDRs online have amazing reception, that's for sure. Like Carlos Aguila says, RTD decodem and computer would probably not support an SDR, less than there's running the line for the antenna and ground to outside. I really can't run. Keith Habit, have you seen the SDRs with the small monitor that can show waterfalls? Yeah, you're talking about those small ones that quite a few have been using lately. They look kind of interesting, very portable, that's for sure. Almost sounds like a setup. I can tell you that. It's like pretty crazy. Keegan had a computer, my last, with a CRT monitor for switching a laptop over a year later and discovered a picture of a woman. Well, she was a nice woman. That's all I can say. She was good looking, that's for sure. But it was kind of crazy, wasn't the thing. One of the I remember one guy that I go to, and he wanted me to recover a hard drive that had failed. And when I recovered it, it had, and I'm not joking, something like 250,000 pictures of naked women. And I remember I looked at the hard drive, so I was, well, okay, it's recovered. And he had warned me. He had told me, well, it's, sexual content. If you recover it, don't be surprised. Okay, yeah, there's 250,000 pictures of naked women in here. So there was no surprise. That surprise that I had was to get 250,000 pictures of naked women over the internet. You must be doing that full time every day and do nothing else. Because, I mean, that's a darn big amount of pictures. That is what made me surprised. Not that there were naked pictures or anything, It's just crazy. Had to log in to chat again. Yeah, seems like there's some kind of weird thing happening with that. It's just crazy. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. For the AC RF, depends on the possibilities and the combination stuff, Yeah, I would that's what I would guess, Kish Escape, but it's just so weird, How did we go from talking about shortwave into that? Oh, well, it all started with Kish Escape with all of his stories of talking about my old stories of PCs. Oh, God. So many things. But a web series with all the stories and all the things that happened over time. The worst was a Monday morning when so I go to I am in real life, and I'm not joking, a little clumsy in day-to-day life. Okay. I'm halfway a Mr. Bean sometimes. And basically it's Monday morning, and the way that I always work is I fill up the afternoon and the evenings. I always try to keep my mornings. It's always been something that I like to do like that. So this woman calls up and she can't. It's Monday. You got to be here at 8 a.m. And I'm like, okay, I'll be there. So I get to her home. And I go in. I'm half asleep because me waking up early in the morning. Early in the morning. It's I barely get in, and it's winter. I got to take off my boots. I get one leg up to start um, removing my boots, and I lose, my balance, and I grasp the wall, and on the wall there's a huge poster, and I just ripped off the poster off the wall, and I'm like, I feel real bad, and I was like, oh man, I just ripped the poster off her wall. And she looks at me, she says, oh no, it's no problem, it doesn't matter, I wanted to remove it anyway. Okay. I get in. I get in. As I get to the computer, there's a room, and instead of a door, that room has some draperies that block the view from inside the room. Her cat passes in front of me real fast, and I didn't see it, and I don't want to step on the cat, so I again lose my balance. And what did I grasp on? Of course, it had to be the drapes, and I just ripped the drapes off. And it's like, oh, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, okay, I've been here for 2 minutes. I ripped the poster and I ripped the drapes off of the door. And it's Monday morning, 8 a.m. And I'm like, yeah, I should have stayed home sleeping as usual. Oh god. Comexi 76. Speaking of computers, I had a lot of problems with blue screen issues the other day. Turns out it was malware bytes. Once I uninstalled, all went well. Yeah, software is a huge software and drivers, huge problems. Like I always say on the tech channel, 98% of all blue screens and freezes and problems are not Windows. They're third-party software. They're bad drivers. But of course, what you have in your face is Windows all the time, so everybody just screams at Windows. So, yes, we do see your messages, Bobby Burgess. James Johnson says, days like that never get better. Yeah. It's just, just crazy. It's one of those days that you're like, yeah, today's the day I should have stayed home, not go anywhere. And somebody was telling me, somebody asked me, says, did you ever go back? She never called me again. I guess she said, no, I'm not going to call that clumsy tech guy that breaks everything in my home. It's just one of those crazy moments. Probably one of the saddest moments I lived through. There was quite a few moments that I went through with 15 years of tech guy. So a lot of the clients, you went through 15 years of their own lives. And one of the things of that was, of course, a lot of my clients were older, So when I started in 2000, I was 30 years old, 31-year-old. And a lot of my clients back then were 50, 55-year-old. 15 years later, and some were 60 already. So 15 years later, they're 60, 70. And I remember one lady that was, she had a hard time with her daughter. Her daughter was like a very rebel and very, her daughter was very. Every time I went there, it was really something. I would watch the interaction. It was like, wow, it's almost like hate, a hate relationship. And her daughter was always like, I hate you and whatever. And she was one of my first clients ever, and she was maybe, I would say, in the maybe she was 40 years old when I went there for the first time. Her daughter was like, 12, 13. And I lived through all of that, and every time I was there, and sometimes when her daughter wasn't there, she was talking to me, and she says, "I'm so sorry when you come here. There sometimes it must be painful for you to see the interactions, and I don't know what to do. My daughter's like really like difficult, and I'm I don't know what to do." And the last time that I went there, and I still remember, and I remember complete the complete track of it. I had a really big day that day. I had like many, many clients to go through. And I woke up. She was the first client of the day. It was like 9 in the morning. It was like the month of May, one of the first real beautiful, almost summer-like days. And get there at 9 a.m. And the first big surprise that I have is that when she opens the door, she is really skinny and she doesn't have any hair. She's totally bald. And on my head, my first reaction in my head is, oh God, is she getting treatment for cancer or something? So I start fixing the computer, and one thing has changed. The computer was always in the daughter's room. Now the computer was in the main hall where you could see all the rooms. And the daughter was super nice. And at some point, when the daughter goes for groceries or something and she's coming back and she's super nice, and I'm like, wow, what a change. And that lady, that when their daughter left, she says, um, I hope you weren't too surprised when you saw me. I have cancer and I'm having treatments and everything. So that's why I don't have my hair. And she said, the computer's here. My daughter asked for the computer to be in the main hall because she wanted to see me all the time. Because she's realizing that her mom could die and, is not feeling well. And suddenly that daughter realized, that I could be losing my mom. And I still remember when I left, and that was one of my clients for like 15 years at least. And we would see each other at least once, if not twice a year. She, when I left, she gave me a check for the money she owed me for the tech job. She looked at me and she said, I just want to let you know that it's been a pleasure every time you came here. You're funny. You had these stories, and you had you always have something to say, a little joke, and you always did a great job with my computers. But we won't be seeing each other anymore because my treatments don't work, and I probably have 3 to 6 months left to live. And I wanted just to tell you that it's been a pleasure knowing you, and thank you for everything you've done. I got out of that house. It was like 11 a.m. with tears in my eyes and the sidewalk. I was on the sidewalk with tears in my eyes, kind of realizing she's gonna die. I am fit and I am feeling well, but realizing someday this could be me. And I remember I just didn't have the feel to continue my workday. I called all of my clients that day and said, "Oh, something came up. I won't be able to go fix your computers." And it was nice because it was a day of those clients that was like, "Oh, no problem. Tomorrow or after tomorrow is okay." And I remember I called a couple of friends of mine and said, "Hey, nice today. How about we get lunch? on a on a terrace somewhere, and then maybe have a few beers outside today. Kind of beautiful day like this. Oh man, that caught me so much. I can tell you that. So well, I don't think I'm gonna live forever, but as long as I can, if possible. Garden Lyle, nice to have you here. Take care, Gaetan Bellil. Fais attention à toi. Take care, Tom DXer. So, one of those days that you're like, wow, crazy. Hello, Dilip B. Bat. Nice to have you on board from India, VU3UEL. So, it's kind of stuff that you're like, wow. Yep, RJD Dakota. You got to be thankful for what you have. So many things like that. It's funny because what is interesting is you go through all of that, and what you don't realize at the beginning when you start, because one of the things you is always when I started, the same thing here when I did the same thing here when I look at the live shows. So when you do a tech, you start being a tech guy. You're in your head, you're going to be a tech guy, and you're going to go fix computers. Until you realize that for some people, the tech guy is almost a friend. Actually, some of the clients became friends, and some people open up. The tech guy is also the tech guy is also there to listen. The tech guy is like it's like a doctor almost. It's like people tell you some really personal stuff when you're fixing their computers. They need to talk to someone, and they talk to the tech guy. And so you hear a lot of stuff. I heard stories that were just so amazing. Women that had gone there so many times, and she had her husband, and she's going back to Mexico for scuba diving. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. But she started telling me, oh, it's going to be the first time in 20 years. I was like, oh, why 20 years? Oh, because what she didn't tell me is that 20 years before, she was with another guy, and she went scuba diving, and she almost drowned, but her boyfriend at the time did drown. And she felt that it was her fault because she wasn't careful enough, and that her ex-boyfriend died because of her. And it was the first time in 20 years she'd come back. You hear stories like that, and you're like, wow, people go through stuff that is darn complicated and hard. And so you're in the life of everybody. When I started doing the live shows for the Shortwave, I thought I would do live shows, and there would be a chat maybe or whatever, and there's being some interaction, but I didn't think it would be an interaction that's so intense like it is right now, where we're almost like friends, if not friends officially, and it's just crazy. It's things that you don't think of, and when you start doing them, and you're like, well, I never thought it would be like that, the way that things happen. It's pretty crazy. Escape. Thank you, Joel, always for being here. It's great watching you and sharing Shortwave together. Well, it's it's fun sharing about Shortwave and what we love. James Johnson, it does change your perspective on things. Absolutely, absolutely. Prasad, something wrong with the net today. Streaming stopped 3 times for a while. Yeah, and there's a lot of people that that are mentioning that they're being kind of thrown off the chat and stuff. Some weird stuff. The pirate flag is on the other side of the room right now. And there's going to be, I removed the Christmas lights, but October 1st tomorrow, it's Halloween time. I'm going to start putting up some Halloween stuff all around, making it a little scarier. And Halloween, if I'm not mistaken, Halloween is, let me just check it out here. So Halloween is going to be Saturday evening, October 31st. So, we could be thinking about that. We'll see about it, but that could mean maybe we'll have a special Saturday night Halloween show, Chasing Pirates. That could be fun in a month's time from now. What about? Yeah, Rob, absolutely. Sad stories are tough sometimes, but they are as important as the happy stories. Absolutely. Cardos Aguila says, my dad survived cancer. My mom didn't. Cancer leave gives you time to say goodbye. Yeah, sometimes it's quick, but yeah. I lost my sister to cancer, so, pretty crazy. 54. Pretty much the age of my sister. My sister died was about 54. Crazy times. That's a young age. Good night. Take care, Chris Powell. What else do we have? Yeah, that's what I think. There's not going to be a lot of trick-or-treating for sure. So, yeah, Halloween falls on a Saturday night, 31st of October. So I guess we could do a special Saturday night Halloween show for Shortwave, Chasing Pirates. Who knows what's going to happen here? Last year we had Alex Jones showing up. You never know what's going to happen here. How did you get that nice blue CRI shirt you had on last year's stream? China Radio International. Was asking for official monitors when I moved there in 2000. So China Radio International wanted to have official monitors. And when you were an official monitor, you would have to send several shortwave reports, comments and reception reports every week. And because they were asking for a lot, they would actually give you a lot of gifts. So I got tons of gifts when I was doing that. One of the gifts was that CRI shirt that I got. I got tennis kit with the wristbands and everything. I got golf stuff. I've got scarves. I've got these little hand-painted bottles from the inside. I've got tons of things that I received when I was an official monitor. It was really, really something. They were very intense. At some point, they even wanted to almost pay some US dollars for those that would actually send reports every day. But at the same time, it was kind of creepy. They were asking a lot of personal questions when they were doing that. And I always thought that, is that some kind of weird way of them trying to get some Chinese spies or something? I don't know. It was really weird. Yeah, Gordon, time really goes fast. I can tell you that. This year went really fast, and I can tell you it's crazy. So, yeah, I remember, Bobby, when your mom passed away. 2.4 gigahertz. No, not a lot of stuff here. Not really anymore. I don't hear much anyways. I can tell you that. Yeah, with online SDRs, but I think it wasn't just Yogi. It wasn't just the fact of having reports for the signal quality. They wanted reports of what you thought of the program at the same time. So Joseph Ickenbaum being MLA 30 for Halloween. That's nice. Hey, I'm disguised in an MLA 30. Want to see my bias D? That sounds weird. Oh God. Keisha scam. All my neighbors think I'm a Cuban spy. Oh man. I don't know what my neighbors think, but I can tell you. KMXC76, when Alex Jones is under the weather, he pays Joe to fill in for him. Probably. Hey, Kimberly, K6YYL. Nice to have you on board. Joe Brown, 2 full moons in October. The second full moon will be on Halloween night. Oh, nice. And by the way, talking of full moon, October 2nd is the first full moon, I believe. And planet Mars will be real close to the moon if you want to see that. Will be kind of nice. So, hey guys, we've been on for 2 hours and 45 minutes. Hope that you enjoyed this live show today. We'll be back on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's 20 hours Universal Time. And hope that everybody will have a good time. Mr. Paul wants to get out of the room also at the same time, which we will do. So take care, everybody. Love you all. Stay safe. And see you Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 20 hours Universal Time. Hope you enjoyed the show today, even though we didn't do a lot of shortwave stuff. We'll be back on Friday, and I'll be with the console with the sound that I'll be able to actually drive into you guys. We'll be doing a little test with that on Friday. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Love you all.